students, today we are going to very prominent and important topic, the topic of SYBA VSC English for semester 4 lecture series number 1. So we just start off this series specially for student of SYBA. The title of this course is Essential Skills for Literary Appreciation, the course for SYBA English Special English students. So this is the first video. Dear students, we will take the 5 video on this same topic. So this is video number 1 and series number 1. So without waste our time, we start right now. Okay. Before starting our today's lecture, now I am going to introduce myself. My name is Deepak Kokani, Professor Deepak Kokani, Department of English, where I as an assistant professor. Okay, so without waste our time, shall we start right now? Okay, dear friends, here unit number 1, Introduction to Prose Analysis, first lecture series. So this is the first lecture series which we are going to today cover. Okay, so what is the meaning of prose? So friends, students, we know already that what is exactly prose, but today we are going to discuss in detail so meaning of prose. So here prose is a form of written or spoken language that follows a natural flow of speech and it not structured by the meter or rhythm, unlike poetry. It is the most common mode of expressions used essays, short stories, novels, okay, biographies, autobiographies, articles, okay, speeches and non-fictional writing. So dear friends, you have to understand here, so what is exactly prose? The prose is nothing but the spoken and written form which is the natural flow, okay, so such as the prose, essay writing, okay, short stories, novel. So these all types of prose, so we must understand that. So here prose aims to, so what is exactly aim of prose? Here, communicate ideas clearly. So when we communicate, when we read a particular prose, that time we get the communicate ideas properly, narrate events or experiences. So what is the experiences, what is the narration, what is the narrate, okay, describe people, places or situations. In the prose we also describe people's situation, places, okay. So these are all things, and which is also based on the real incidents, sometimes imagination also, because we will see the in the next slide there is a types of prose also, okay. So then argue to explain concept. So this is how we understood what is the exactly prose aims to. The first aim, communicate ideas clearly. The second, narrate events or experiences. The third, describe people, places or situations, okay. At the last is argue to explain concept, okay. So this is how prose aims to, okay. So next, here is meaning of prose analysis. So prose analysis is the systematic and critical examination of a prose text to understand its meaning, structure, language, style, theme and technique. It involves close reading. Dear students, here you understand that the intention of prose, it's called close reading, which is called practical criticism, okay. So that's why we are going to cover these things. So which is called close, it's involved close reading, okay, and interpretation of how a writer uses language to convey ideas, emotions and perspectives. So all these things which we cover, which we understand that the meaning of prose analysis, okay. Prose analysis help readers. So how can prose analysis can be help to readers, such as appreciate literary qualities, okay. So next, understand deeper meaning, then develop critical thinking and then interpret the writer's intention. So this is how the prose can also help to readers So these are things. Okay, we are going to move ahead. So what are the types of prose? Okay, there is a many types of prose, 3-4 types of prose, but the prominent type, the most important types are only 2 types. So which is we are going to discuss fictional prose. So fictional prose includes novels, short stories and novellas. Okay, so novels, short story and novellas. So this is called fictional prose. So dear students, here you understand that. So what is the fictional prose? The fictional prose is nothing but which is the based on imagination. Okay, a man who, a writer who making an imaginary world, and which is he sketched the some characters, he make the some characters according to that. Okay, this is how based on imagination. Okay, focuses on characters. So fictional prose also focuses on characters, plot and setting. Okay, this is very important. Okay, next type of prose, non-fictional prose. So non-fictional prose, which means the prose, okay, based on fact, experiences and real events. So non-fictional prose, which is also totally based on fact, experiences, real incident which happen. Okay, and that time, or a particular writer or poet who also compose and who also write a particular situations. This is called non-fictional prose. So includes, such as includes in non-fictional prose, essays also non-fictional prose, biography also non-fictional prose, autobiographies, speeches and articles. So this is how these are the examples of non-fictional prose, dear students. Okay. Non-fictional prose based on fact which means real fact, experiences, okay, and real events. Okay, events which means incident, real phenomena. Okay, focuses on ideas, arguments and explanations. So this is how this is called types of prose. So what is the differences between the fictional prose and non-fictional prose? There is only difference between the fictional prose. Fictional prose is nothing but the prose which means based on the imaginations, and non-fictional which is called based on the real fact and real incident and real experiences. Okay, so this is called 2 types of prose, which means fictional prose and non-fictional prose. Okay, next. Okay. Elements of prose, dear students. Here there are some elements of prose. The understanding the elements of prose is essential for effective analysis. So if you understand effective analysis, you need to understand the elements of prose. The first elements are very essential. It is very essential. Theme. The theme, what is the theme? The theme is the central idea. Okay, the theme is the central idea. Okay, the central idea or message of the text, okay, may relate to life, society, morality, human relationship or philosophy, can be explicit or implicit. So this is how when we read short story, novel, novella, okay, that time we also get some moral message, lesson, which is called theme, central idea. Okay, so this is the first elements of prose. The second elements of prose is plot. So what is plot? The plot of, okay, the sequence of events in the narrative. So what is plot? The plot is nothing but the sequence of events in this narrative, means narrative. Okay, includes exposition, which means how the start the journey of character, how to start the novel. Okay, exposition, inception, rising action, okay, climax. This is called climax. Okay, climax. Then is falling action and resolution. So what is the at the last time there is a denouement, which means happen resolution, ending. Okay, the beginning to ending, rising action, climax, falling action, and at the last is denouement, which means resolution. Okay, so this is called the plot. important mainly in fictional prose. Okay, it is a fictional prose. So what is the third elements of prose? It's called characters. So characters are very prominent and very vital role in the prose. Okay, individuals who participate in the narratives may be major or minor, round or flat, static and dynamic. So this is called the types of some characters also in the prose. Okay, this is called elements of prose. Characters analysis focuses on behavior, okay, motivations and development. Okay, so this is how we can understand that we can today understand that. So elements of prose. So let's move another elements. Okay, the next element which we going to discuss, setting. Okay, setting is refers to time, place and social environment, creates the background of the story. So setting also create the backgrounds of story. Dear students, help establish mood and realism. Then next elements is point of view. So what is the point of view here? Point of view, the perspective from the which the story is told. So this is the point of view. First person, third person, okay, third person limited or third person omniscient. So here is first person, which means I. In the story there is only I person, which means I. There is third person he, she. Okay, this is the third person, but limited. The third person is a limited, and or a third person omniscient. A third person omniscient, which means a person, the third person who know everything, about the story, everything about the story, and he know what is the role, every character's role. He know everything already that. So this is called third person omniscient. Okay, influences readers' understanding of events and characters. Okay, so language and style in prose. So which type of language and which type of style which will be which is the used in the prose. So language, choice of words. There is a diction also, choice of words. So which is used. Okay, sentence structure. There is also particular sentence structure in the language and style. Okay, use of figurative language. In the prose, there is also use the figurative language. Figurative language, which means figure of speech, such as the simile, metaphor, personification. Okay, so these kind of figure of speech also used in prose. Okay, level of formality, formal, informal. Okay, so this is how the level of formality also. There is a formal and informal also. So prose can be formal and informal also. So both types. Okay, so in the next slide. Okay, dear student, here the style. So what is the style? Okay, style, if I told you the language, okay, then there is a style. Okay, the distinctive way in which an author writes. Okay, maybe simple. So which kind of his style? The author's style is very different. Some author's style is very easy to learn. To everybody can easily learn his story, learn his poem. Okay, poet's poem is very simple sometimes. But some authors and some poets poems and his work is very different kind of, and do not ordinary people they are not understand. So it should be style, but style should be very simple and very commonly. Okay, which is very important. Okay, maybe simple, ornate, descriptive, narrative. Okay, or argumentative. So reflect the writer's responsibility and purpose. Okay. So there is some literary devices used in prose also, such as writer use literary devices to enhance meaning and impact. So why the writer is using the literary devices? Because writer want to enhance meaning and impact of the particular story, poem. Okay, so that's why he using some literary devices, which means figure of speech. Okay, the first figure of speech, simile. Simile, why we using the simile? Simile, which means comparison using the like or as. Okay, So when we compare two things each other, such as my friend just like me, okay, my friend just like me. So this is how we use a particular, we can say that, okay, literary devices. Comparison using like or as. So then the next literary device is metaphor. So metaphor is nothing but direct comparison. So if I take an example, my life is dream. So I am going to directly compare my life as a dream. Okay, I am not going to say that my life as a dream. I am going to say, okay, my life is dream. Okay, direct comparison. In this metaphor, direct comparison. Metaphor simile is comparison. Simile is indirect comparison using the like or as, and metaphor is direct comparison. Okay, so this is the difference. This is the differences between the simile and metaphor. Okay, there is a second. There is a next personification figure of speech. Okay, literary device using prose also. There is also use personification figure of speech. Okay, human qualities. So what is the personification figure of speech? Human qualities given to non-human, okay, objects. So it's called personification figure of speech. Then is next figure of speech imaginary, vivid sensory descriptions. Okay, so imaginary also use vivid. So different kind of sensory we use. Sometimes we use smell, touch, haptic. So these are imaginary which we are going to use. Then is next figure of speech also use irony, contrast between the expectation and reality. So how the irony to contrast between the expectation and reality. Okay. Next figure of speech which we are also use symbolism. Symbolism which means objects representing deeper meaning. Suppose I use in the particular poetry pigeon. The particular short story pigeon. The pigeon is a symbol of peace. So this is called symbolism. Sometimes you use snake. Snake is a symbol of demon, which is something not good. Okay. So this is how with the help of these literary devices used in prose. Okay. Sorry. Tone and mood. So what is the role of tone and mood in prose? Okay. What is here the point number one? The tone. We can understand that. What is the tone? The writer's attitude towards the subject. So what is the writer's attitude towards the subject? It's called tone. Okay, such as writers. Okay, the may be serious. Sometimes writers also serious. Okay, sometimes humorous. Okay, humorous. Sometimes satirical. Sometimes critical, or sometimes sympathetic. So this is how what is the writer's attitude towards subject. So this is called tone. So then what is mood? Emotional response evoked in the reader. So which type of emotional response? Okay, emotional response to happens in his mind, and so how can he doing that things? So when he read particular novels, particular story, that time how can he faces the situations? It's called emotions. His mood. Okay, which type of mood? Okay, emotional responses evoked in the reader, created through language, imaginary and setting. So this is how tone and mood also make the vital role in the prose. Okay. So what is the importance of prose analysis in literature study? So friends, here, so if we understand, if we already understood that all these things, but now we must know that. So importance of prose analysis in literature study. So why we do literature? Why we do study the literature, and what is the role in the literature, and what is the importance literature in the prose? Okay, so enhances interpretative and analytical skill. So importance of prose analysis in literature study. It is also enhances interpretative and analytical skill. Okay, analytical skill. So what is your analytical skill? So how can you analyze all those things? Okay, develops critical reading ability. So prose study also develop critical analysis. So a man who can critically thinking and provoking thinking. His ability should be very different kind of, and it's enhance the reading ability also, critical reading ability, develop critical reading ability. The next, improves understanding of language uses. So it will be definitely improves the language and understanding develop language. Okay, then encourages appreciation of literary, okay, artistry. Okay, it's really encourages appreciation of literary artery. Okay, literary artery also increases appreciation, help learners connect literature with life and society. So this is very important, dear students. So importance of prose analysis in literature study. So helps learners connect literature with life and society. So this is very we can say that this is the key points of the prose. So which we understand, okay, which we understood. So this is how today in this first series which we cover very important and prominent point. So unit number 1, introduction to prose analysis. Okay, so in this lecture today we have covered meaning of prose. So what is the meaning of prose? Then we cover prose aims to, okay, then we cover, dear students, meaning of prose analysis. Okay, so what is the close reading? So how one should do the close reading. Okay, then is the prose analysis help readers. Okay, then so what are the types of prose? The fictional prose, non-fictional prose. Okay, then we cover elements of prose. So what are the elements of prose? So we cover theme, plot, characters. Okay, then we cover setting, point of view. Okay, language and style in prose. So which type of language and which kinds of styles particular writers, poet who use, okay, language. Then we cover style. So which type of devices used in prose, simile, metaphor, personification, figure of speech, imagery, irony, symbolism. Okay, and what is the tone and style, and what is the importance of prose analysis in literature study. So this is how today we cover today's very initial and inception topic. So this is today's we just started, and today's the first series we have completed. So I hope, dear students, you are all understood. This is how we cover today, and in the next series, in the second lecture, we will also take some importance regarding the prose. Okay, and we will cover our whole syllabus, SYBA English, SYBA VSC special students. Okay, so this is how we today cover. So I hope you are all understood, and thank you so much to listening me patiently, and we will meet very soon. So once again, so thank you so much to all of you.